way that I can give you my top picks, and then I'll give you my favorite. So in no particular order, I'm just going to read out a few of mine. I'll do this in rapid succession. First of all, David the Gnome, which was brought up in the community, that is absolutely one of my favorites. I talked DuckTales, also one that was brought up over and over again. Fantastic mention. Batman the Animated Series, we talked about it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we talked about it. Freakazoid. I know there was a little bit of heartburn about Freakazoid out there, but Freakazoid is an awesome theme. Another one that needs to be there is Ren and Stimpy. I'm going to say this with a straight face because it is absolutely correct. One of the reasons I appreciate classical music as much as I do today is because of Ren and Stimpy. I know the theme was this kind of jazz theme, and it's actually pretty neat. It's very cool. But the show, one of the things that John Kricfalusi did in the original Ren and Stimpy was really to include a lot of classical music because he really wanted young kids to appreciate classical music. And let me tell you something, he absolutely did that time and time again. There's so many great creative uses of some of your favorite classical music pieces out there. I know specifically right off the bat, Dvorak's Ninth Symphony is so prominently featured in so many episodes. And you just listen to it and go, man, I have to go listen to this in context. So I'm going to put Ren and Stimpy on that list too. Inspector Gadget, that's one I still actually find myself singing. A couple of years back, I actually was Rorschach for Halloween, but I wasn't. I actually had to take my mask off after a little while, and a lot of people thought I was Inspector Gadget, and I just started humming the theme, and I was just like, man, this is a great, great song. Gummy Bears, the Disney Afternoon. This was actually predates the Disney Afternoon. I think this was before they actually had something called the Disney Afternoon. That is one of the best all time. I don't care who you are. You got to love the Gummy Bears. We talked about Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers, again from the Disney Afternoon, one of the all-time greats. And then I will say this too, Thundercats. You all saw that coming. I love, obviously, the Thundercats. Thanks for the info, by the way, on the new show. Yes, I did know that was out there. I had not known that there was movement on it recently. And it looks like we will be seeing movement with that, and that we actually could see that show within the next couple of months. And count this guy in to being one of the first people to tune in, because the Thundercats are one of my favorite properties of all time, one of my favorite IPs. I'm so glad someone's finally doing something with it. It's long overdue, and it looks fucking cool. It looks really cool. So I can't wait to see it, and I hope that they do a good job with it. Sounds like they're really rocking it out. So I'm very, very excited about that. But the Thundercats with the lightning guitar, just rocking out. Just a catchy theme, and I think you could probably update that in a lot of cool ways. And I've done that in the Echo Screen. I've actually seen the Transformers theme I've used an orchestral arrangement for that I found on YouTube. I've used the Thundercats arrangement I've heard on YouTube. So that stuff is out there. So what is my favorite of all time? What is inevitably the answer to my own question from last week's Weekly Ringer? Folks, it's the Gummy Bears. There's no question about it. The Gummy Bears theme song is the best cartoon theme song. Okay, I'm not going to say that. If it's not your favorite, it is in your top 5, and I don't think there's any of you that would disagree with that. Maybe it's not the best, but it's absolutely there in the top 5. One of the things I will also say about it, I took German in high school and college, and one of the things that we took an extraordinary amount of joy in was going and finding all the international versions of the Gummy Bears theme song. And just go on YouTube, you will find every different version there was, and I think there was like 25 to 30 of them. You can hear that song in so many different languages, it's ridiculous. And the reason why is because the show was so awesome and the theme was so good that they had to bring it to all of those countries. So the Gummy Bears theme song absolutely 100% wins. That is the Commodore's vote for this week's Weekly Ringer. There you have it. David the Gnome being a close second, because that song is one that I can continually sing and time again. It's one of those things that you bust out that you can sing and you know the words to at a party, and all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my God, I remember that show. That's one of those that you can absolutely jump on top of. So, folks, again, I'll say it. Thanks so much for your contributions. This week was a pleasure to read. Not that other weeks are not, but this week was just a pleasure. Clicking all the links that you guys gave, I love it when you guys provide stuff for me to go learn and me to go listen, and for all of us to get together in a community and listen to what each other kind of has. And also, Estolia, you showed your your directory structure there with over, what, 200, or maybe it was even more than that, as I recall, TV themes. Let me tell you, I have one of those too. It's not nearly as big, but I'm sure a lot of us out there have that. So it's good to know those things are still going on. And maybe sometime soon we'll talk about some live action TV themes, and maybe we'll make it a little more decade specific so that we can have multiples of them. And you guys can tell me all the things that you know and love from different periods outside of cartoons. All right. So I'm looking right now. My run time's about 15 minutes. So I am going to try to wrap up pretty quickly. I think I've done an all right job so far. Here we go. So I wanted to focus this week on something that's been kicking around for a while. How many of you out there, this is not the weekly Wringer question, how many of you out there are sick of hearing about there's an app for that, right? If you watch any commercial now, or you go to any website, or you have anything you could possibly imagine in terms of being able to control stuff or do things, if you search for almost anything you can think of, there's something related to an app on the Android marketplace or on iTunes, whatever the case might be. And I'm kind of tired of it because I know it's the wave of the future. I know that's not going anywhere anytime soon. But I just wanted to be able to put it out there that is something I'm a little tired of. So here is the weekly Wringer for next week. I recently saw a commercial for Bud Light where this guy downloads an app that's the Bud Light app, and when he runs out of beer, he then goes around and starts pouring beers for everybody at the party. And I thought, okay, well, of course that's patently absurd, right? But that's not what I want to ask about. What I wanted to ask about was, if this trend continues, I'm starting to think that we'll have apps for everything. And so I wanted to ask the question, if you could have an app for your phone, I don't care what phone you have, whether it's an iPhone, an Android, it doesn't matter. If you could have an app for a phone, what would it do? Any app that you could possibly imagine. Maybe you're going to name one that's already out there. Maybe you're going to name one that is physically impossible, breaks the laws of physics. I don't care. Let's keep it outside the realm of reality if we want to, okay? So inside or outside the realm of reality, of physical reality as we know it, if you could have one app for your phone that could do anything, what would it do and why? That is the weekly Wringer for next week. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching. As always, I am the Commodore from the clan of the Grey Wolf, and there is no reset button.